What's up, guys? It's a nice wet and rainy day in the woods to test a fire starter. Got an awesome fire starter here that I know works dry, super easy to light, only takes a little bit. It's marketed as to have 50 plus fires with one stick. We're not here to test that today. I got the creek and a bunch of mud behind me. It's raining, the ground is wet and nasty, and I'm getting ready to torture test this thing, so stick around. All right, got the Blackbeard fire starter tied onto a piece of bank line on the edge of the creek here. Get some extra line out, and then we will throw this thing in the water. I don't know if it's gonna float or sink or what it's gonna do, but it's wet either way, for sure. It's sort of sinking, sort of floating. Let me pick up the camera and I'll show you what it's doing. There it is right there. Blackbeard is floating just like a pirate ship out in the creek. I'm gonna pick that thing up and bury it underwater in sand and mud, and then we'll make sure it's nice and saturated. First, I'm gonna toss it a few more times. It's definitely wet. Let's get it out in the water, out in the middle of the creek. Oh yeah, nice and soaked. Oh, it's sinking now. Now that I really threw it out in the middle. Sort of bobbing like a bass lure. Pull it in and do it again. Then we can go get it nice and muddy. Drag it across the bottom. It's a pirate's fire starter if it can't withstand sand and water. Got a nice sandy, watery bath for it right here. Leaves, water, sand. Bury this thing for a while. That's our fire starter right there. Give that a few minutes and then we'll pick it up. All right. About time to pick our fire starter up out of the dirt and mud. Wash it off a little bit. Here she is. Got a little tiny bit more testing I want to do before it's finally time to see if it still lights. Let's get to it. Let's show you that right there. That is where I stomped it into the dirt right there. It's been pounded in quite nicely. That looks more like sand than fire starter right now. Is it about time to get it lit, or should I do something else? Ugh. Look at that. It's nice and clean now. All right, I'm ready to light it on fire. All right, folks. Normally I'd clear me a nice bare spot in the dirt, get all the leaves out of the way, and then I'd cut a nice dry piece out of there, although I don't think much is dry now. And then I would pile on sticks, and the sticks would be sticks that I broke off that were hanging in the air or off a branch that were elevated so that the water had time to drip off of them. In this case, I'm gonna take this thing and light it right on top of the soaking wet leaves, in the rain, no cover over it. And I am going to pick up only sticks that are laying on the ground. I might try and find a couple that are in the creek that have been soaking for quite a while. And I'm gonna get some real wet sticks, pile them on top of this thing, light it right on top of the leaves, and we'll see if it works. All right, guys. Got a nice pile of soaking wet sticks that have been sitting in the rain pretty much all day. Got my torture tested Blackbeard fire starter that I actually think feels heavier with water. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this thing is soaked. I have no clue. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very confident that this is gonna light on fire. So I'm gonna cut a piece off real quick here, and I'm gonna get a good big chunk just to, I mean, if you were in enough of a survival situation that your fire starter went through all that before you had to light it, I'd probably be using the whole daggum stick. But we're gonna get this thing cut off. And a lighter would make it much easier. I got a Bic in my Exotech waterproof lighter sleeve, which I could also torture test. That's a good idea. That would make it a lot easier, but I'm sure somebody wants to see it done with a ferro rod. I'm at the end. I'm sort of squeezing water out of the end of this thing right now. I am not confident at all. This is going right on the wet leaves. I'm gonna pull out a ferro rod and my fixed blade and see if this thing will light up. Oh, I see flame. That's awesome. I cannot believe that actually just lit on fire. That is so cool. Let's see if it stays lit and if I can get these wet sticks to catch on fire. Make sure it's got plenty of oxygen. I am 100% surprised. I will be honest, I did not think that was gonna light. Let me put these sticks on here. Oh, come on. See if this wet fire starter will burn long enough to get these soaking wet sticks dried and lit. We'll see. Honestly, I don't think so, but like I said, I didn't think this fire starter was gonna light up either. Gonna take some babying, but just gotta give it plenty of oxygen. And it should burn. Fire starter should burn. Oh, I hope this lights. I'm gonna start piling my bigger sticks just on the outside so that as the little sticks are drying and burning, the big sticks are drying as well, so that I don't get a little bit of a fire and then put it out with a bunch of big soaking wet sticks. I see smoke, or most likely steam from all the water drying out of this wood. Want to leave plenty of oxygen, sort of build it around the fire, leaving a straight stream up the middle so that all the heat rises up out of the top and spreads out and dries it all out. Looks like we may have a stick or two on fire in there. Got fire streaming out the top, but we want it to have plenty of oxygen coming up under the fire and oxygen coming straight out the middle and heat coming out this way to dry everything out. So this stream of fire right here, that's what we want, is that stream of fire coming out of the top, just feeding oxygen through. I think that may have been a successful torture test of the Blackbeard fire starter. I am very, very pleased. I'm trying to think of anything else I could have done that would have made this even harder for the Blackbeard fire starter, but I can't really. I beat it up pretty tough. Everything about this whole challenge was soaking wet, and I now have a warm fire. That stream right there, that's what's giving it oxygen and helping dry everything out. Like a jet stream coming out of the top of the fire. All right, Blackbeard, I'm giving this one to you. That is awesome. All right, guys, thanks for watching me torture test the Blackbeard fire starter. Go to blackbeardfire.com and get a couple of these. It's nearing Christmas. Those are great stocking stuffers. And you can use my code GABE07, all capital letters, and get 10% off your Blackbeard fire starter. These things are awesome.